Hello there, guys, girls, gamers, everyone. It's me, GenuineParts, and we are back in If My Heart Had Wings. Sorry for abruptly leaving you with the last video after the intersection of the theme song, I guess, for this game. But I thought it was an appropriate way to cut. So, we are back. Kanako just told us what a nice, pretty picture we just saw. And on a personal note, now that I patched this game, I have to always change my locale to Japanese, which would not be a problem since it doesn't mess up anything on your game. But like Bandicam doesn't support Japanese, so everything else I have to record doesn't work when I have to set it to Japanese. I try to work around with app locale, it doesn't work. So just to show you how much I love you guys, I'm willing to, you know, go through a little bit of extra trouble. Okay, I hope now we get to have some choices. I have not looked up any walkthroughs, no routes for me. I will go with what my heart says. I really hope I end up in... well, we will see where we end up. I have a favorite, I'm not telling. Maybe you try to influence me then. Okay.
そうね。ありゃ、あかりちゃんご機嫌なのね。
Is she ever not cranky? Like, really? The only thing I saw of her is cranky. Nearly. She was nice one time.
そんなことないわよ。
Not sure about that. She always looks like... She always looks like Katori when she's angry. Not super angry, because Katori starts to look like a cat. But she looks angry. Like, all the time.
無知でバシバシして、いざ雨よってところで小鳥ちゃん来ちゃったもんね。
A reign of pain.
あれじゃあかりちゃん、ただのガミガミ怖い子みたいに思われちゃったかも。
Well, guilty as charged.
嬉しそうに言わないでちょうだい。憎まれ役は望むところよ。
They are like the polar opposites of each other.
私だけはあかりちゃんのことちゃんと分かってるからね。
Aww, that's so nice. She gives her a hug.
ありがとう。
That face is new.
別に不機嫌になってなんかいないわ。
You want
ちょ
to
っと
join the
考
club
え
too?
事していただけよ。ねえ、かなこさん。はいよ。
Oh, either she's infiltrating the club with Kanako to check that we have no you know, ghost members, or she joins herself.
あの転校生、何者なの？
That's me.
寮母さん？
Oh, that will upset her greatly.
寮母？
Oh yes, that will upset her greatly.
いい子だよ。惚れた？バカおっしゃい。
Baka! Oh, she seems she hit a nerve there. That's like, you know, admitting guilt.
転校してきたばかりで、あの人間嫌いの望月先輩にうまく取り入って。
Well, I'm also pretty antisocial.
抜け目ない男だと思っただけよ。
She's always professional, isn't she?
それ褒めてんの？
I have to clean my glasses. Crap. Yeah, dirty. Sorry. Do. Just noticed.
ええ。
Wow, I'm praised from Akari.
そう。
Here we go. Having reached the number of members needed for the club, the vice president left the garage. Well, they have already left. They were in the school building just now. So, takes a while to get there, doesn't it? Oh, probably that's... Meanwhile, a crossover of timelines. Together with Kanako. The rest of us continued to look at the photograph that Katori had brought.
綺麗な空。
Yes, it is. But these clouds are a very unusual shape.
こんな雲見たことない。そうだろうな。この雲が出現したのは君たちや私が生まれるより前のことだ。
I'm ashamed, but I used to know how these clouds are called, but I haven't, I cannot claim that I know it now because I have forgotten. It's like a special. I don't bore you with that. I bore you with that, don't I? So I will stop. It's like special winds, updrafts, and stuff.
私たちが生まれる前。
That's what she said, Agia. What on earth is this photograph? It's a photograph. It was really beautiful. However, it was the same as the picture in old photo albums, the sort that you would take the Photoshop to have developed and was printed on paper with logos on the back.
これはモーニンググローリーと呼ばれる現象だ。
I'm
ある
not
特
sure.
殊な条件下で起こるとされている。
Yes, I'm agreeing about the certain conditions. I'm not sure if it's called morning glory.
モーニンググローリー？
I cannot pronounce it that way. Sorry, Agia, you are on your own, even if the game says you're not.
さらに何キロにもわたって雲の道ができる。
A path of clouds like this, several kilometers long.
とても珍しい現象で、一番最近起こったのが今から26年前。その時、当時のソアリング部の人たちがグライダーで飛び、この写真を撮影したんだ。
That is impossible that this is the same glider. 26 years? It looks like new. Or they either kept it really well, or...
じゃあ
What? This photo was taken in Kasegura?
そうだが。
Yes, it was.
撮影したのここの OB？
No! It was just, I thought you were the smart one, Agia. What?
そうだ。
How can you ask the question? I'm sorry, but that's not a smart question. Who else should have taken it than an older member of the club? Sperm? Sorry. To think this amazing spectacle occurred right here in my hometown, and that the person who took the photograph was a member of the club I'm in. Even though I'm getting a lot closer to the thing that I thought was so distant, it still doesn't seem real anyhow, or somehow. I think that I felt something along the lines of, dude, that's amazing.
ちょっと待って。
Okay. She looked like she was about to say, I've just realized something really important. She's also very close to my face. What is it?
さっきグライダーで飛んで撮影したって言いました？
Yes.
言ったぞ。フライトログにそう書いてある。ってことは
Sure, you realize that the glider is over 26 years old. Agia and I take another look at the photograph. If you wanted to take a photograph from this perspective, the camera would have to be in a position higher than the clouds. It flew over the clouds, yeah. Did the glider actually fly this high?
そうなるな。物的証拠も目の前にある。
Yeah. Agia and I turned to look at the white aircraft. Did you just... Did Katori get on a bus and never to return? She's right here, isn't she? Or did she leave and I just missed it in my YouTuber professionality? I don't know how many meters up it was, but when I actually picture this flying above the clouds, it seems kind of unreliable. It wasn't just my imagination.
私がこの学校へ来る以前にソアリング部は廃部になり、設備だけがここに残されていた。この写真もここに残されていたものなんだが。
A man takes the photograph in her hand and squints her eye nostalgically.
イスカはここへ行きたがってた。
Could you just tell us who Isuka was?
私とイスカはこの場所を目指してグライダー製作を始めたんだ。
Constructing the glider? Okay, so this is a new glider. Or what? Isuka. That's the name again? Yeah, I wonder about that. Whenever a man says Amane says that name, she becomes very wistful. Who is this Isuka person?
これ。
Yeah, thank you, Katori. So our characters don't completely forget about you. While we were talking, Katori was listening quietly, but now she's holding out the notebook to Amane. I thought I had seen it before. It was the notebook with the things I want to do list. Well, that seemed to come like a shock to Amane.
その写真はこれに挟まっていたの。
Okay.
これはイスカの高校日誌じゃないか。どうして君がこれを持っているんだ？
That sounds like an accusation, but her face doesn't fit.
寮の私の部屋にあったの。寮の部屋。
Well, it's probably where Isuka stayed.
もしかして君はトビウオ層に住んでいるのか？
A little surprised to hear that name, all of a sudden, Katori nodded.
棚の隙間に隠してあったの。中は日記みたいだった。グライダーのこととあなたのことが書いてあったわ。
But her, that's not nice.
私？そう。多分。だってあなたイスカの親友なんでしょ？
Isuka. For some reason, Amane didn't answer. She just looked at the worn cover of the notebook.
それを読んで、私グライダーに興味を持つようになったの。
Why do you have to your accusation stance?
翼だけで風に乗って空を飛ぶ。まるで鳥のような飛行機。
I don't think that analogy is fitting, but that might just be me.
そんなので雲の上を目指すなんてすごいって思った。でももっとずっと昔のことだと思ってたから、日記の日付だとイスカたちはもうとっくに卒業してるはずだし。
Is it really that you say Isuka?
まだ続けてるなんて思ってもみなかった。
But if you were interested in gliders, why didn't you come to check out the Soaring Club? I asked in a light-hearted manner. She was so interested in them that just looking at the real glider makes her eyes sparkle with wonder. The owner of the diary might no longer be around, though.
それは
She didn't want to be a burden, Aoi. Did you not, listen? Katori held tightly to the hem of her skirt.
私なんて入れてもらえないって思ったから。
Are you just dozing off while all the characters talk to you, Aoi? Huh? She opened her heart to us and told us how difficult she had it and their old friends left her because she became a burden.
ハバネさん。
Listening to her words, I felt a dull pain coming from my right knee. It's always about you, isn't it? Wow! Somewhere that she couldn't enter. That's what she believed, and that's why she didn't try to find out about the current status of the Soaring Club. It might have been similar to how I tried to avoid hearing any information about the cycle racing club after I injured my knee. The more I knew, the more envious I would become.
だからあの風車の丘で飛んでるグライダーを見たときは驚いた。すごく嬉しくて心臓がドキドキしたわ。
She's nice when she's like happy. It's only very, very seldomly occurs. That was the time that Katori and I first met. In that peaceful landscape, Katori watched the white aircraft flying overhead with such enthusiasm.
そうだったのか。
When a man heard Katori's story, she took a deep breath.
見てもいいかい？
Yeah. Sounds like a disapproval in German if someone says, ah. Amane put the book on the table and didn't read it straight away. Instead, she went to boil some water in the electric kettle first. Then she prepared the tea set. When the pleasant aroma of the tea started to fill the air, Amane sat down and finally turned to the first page. Her cheeks went slightly pink and her eyes seemed kind of nervous. Amane's eyes moved from left to right across the page. Only in English, isn't it? Because in Japanese you read from right to left? Or just from back to front? I don't know. Slowly, carefully. Oops. It looked like she was digesting it one letter at a time. She took a sip of her hot tea. She placed the cup back on the saucer and then turned to the next page. She began to smile. Maybe something fun was written in there. I love the music, I have to say that. She giggled as if she had become lost in memories. The nervousness that was in her eyes when reading the first page had disappeared.
笑ってるね。
Yes, we can see that. Yeah. It was a calm, happy smile. Or so we thought. Well, that escalated quickly. Then, looking at the next page, she opened her eyes wide. There must be something surprising written on that page. She continued to read, looking surprised. Amane's expression continued to change as she turned the pages. She smiled and seemed surprised, then looked troubled, then appeared to be sulking, and then smiled again.
ねえ、どんなことが書いてあったの？
It's a diary. What do you think? I really thought you are the smart one.
ソアリング部の活動記録よ。と言っても、そのほとんどがただの日記だけど。イスカが大親友とどんな風に毎日を過ごしたか、それが汚い字と読みにくい文章で書いてあった。天音先輩の大親友か。イスカさんってどんな人だったんだろう。かなり変な子よ。多分。
Oh, guys, you are not nice.
いたずらして誰かを驚かせたり、寮の食堂でパイ投げやったり。
But when you read it, it had an effect on you, didn't it?
うん。楽しそうだったの。すごく。
We could tell by the look on our man's face that Iska's flight log was full of funny stories. It was also proof that the time they spent together was equally fun. When she reached what was probably the last page of the diary, Aww. Amanda had tears in her eyes. As Amanda smiled nostalgically, a clear drop ran down from the corner of her squinted eye.
何か悲しいことが書いてあったのかな?
It's just nostalgia. But she's smiling.
日誌は途中で終わってるわ。最後に書いてあったのはあれよ。
Don't give me the feels game, please.
やっておきたいこと。
Oh. The page that we were looking at?
雲の回廊を渡りたい。
A man mumbled in a quiet voice before bursting into tears, while still smiling. She must have been smiling because she was happy. Then the tears must have been because it was all in the past. Just looking at her made me feel a terrible pain inside, like my chest was closing up. Thank you, game. I thought, like, oh, that's just indicating that it's getting evening. After reading the last page, she closed the notebook and then went back to the first page. This is the third time now. Oh, she's reading it over and over again. Even so, she reads it as if for the first time, with the same happiness, surprise, worry, and nostalgia. We quietly watched her as she repeated this again and again. The tea that she has only taken one sip from is definitely cold now, but it seems like she's totally forgotten about it. そっとしておくしかなさそうね。Probably for the best. You're right. There are so many things I want to talk to her about, but it doesn't feel like now is a good time to speak. As we leave the garage, the sky is filled with the colors of the sunset. With a deeper red than sunrise, the darkness of night approached from the eastern sky. I completely read that wrong, but you know what? Let's cut it here. I'm so glad I didn't have to cry, because this is a very possibility, if this game gets emotional, that I get some onions cutting going on in this room, because I am an emotional person. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye bye.